Hey there, it's Heather Hakes. Welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I want to share with you the game of life and how to play it and how there's a big metaphor behind that. Before we dive into today's lesson, I want to offer you a free video training on how to reprogram your subconscious mind. If you don't know it yet, your subconscious mind is running the show. You can grab that in the link below or directly on my website, heatherhakes.com. Today, I want to share with you 5 main points and how to understand the game of life and, more importantly, how to play it. Today, I am using some golf metaphors. And if you're not a golfer or you don't play sports, don't worry. It's all going to make sense and bring it full circle. But hang with me, okay? This past weekend, I watched a new docu-series on Netflix called Full Swing. And what they did is followed a bunch of pro golfers, globally known, top-rated golfers in 2022 through the PGA Tour. And here's what I want to share with you. I sat back and I watched it very much from a psychological standpoint. And time again, not only the commentators, but the players kept mentioning mindset. It's all about mindset. And you could see when these guys would shank the ball and get into a slump and then mess up, the next hole. And one guy even got himself out of the tournament. It was 100% a mindset game. So what I want to share with you today are 5 takeaways on how to play the game of life and how to, most importantly, stay in the game, a positive mental attitude, able to embrace failure, and how important self-awareness and emotional regulation is in any area of life. So let's just dive into it. I've been playing golf for fun for more than 10 years, and that's the importance on why I have so much fun with golf. I don't take it seriously. I don't beat myself up, but every single time I play and I get matched up, I always observe the other golfers. I love to watch their self-talk, and I know who's going to have a good day and who's going to have a bad day, literally based on their talk. Because here's the thing, and again, this is a metaphor for life. If you keep replaying and beating yourself up for things that happened yesterday, an hour ago, 6 months ago, 5 years ago, if you keep replaying those negative narratives, you are continually shitting on the present moment. So when it comes to golf, especially, look, it's frustrating, but things happen in life too, right? You come up against obstacles and challenges, but if you can't stay present, then, like I just mentioned, you're going to keep shitting on the next moment. And so when it comes to golf, if you're a golfer, you're going to get this. If you swing and you shank it and you're like, oh, damn, and you beat yourself up and all this negative self-talk, which I'm going to talk about from this Full Swing documentary, then you're taking that mindset, that frame of mind, those emotions, those limiting beliefs with you on the next swing and the next putt and the next hole. And the same thing goes for life. That's why it's so important to, number one, you've got to have self-awareness. Your self-talk is creating every result in your life. So if you tend to beat yourself up and you're really critical, and that's what leads to self-sabotage. Now here, just a moment. I know the importance of being your biggest cheerleader, and it's great to challenge yourself, and it's great to hold yourself at high standards and want more for yourself. But you've got to come from a space of self-compassion and self-love, not criticism and beating yourself up. And that's exactly what I saw with these players. For example, Brooks Koepka, great dude, phenomenal player. But guess what? In one of these tournaments, he had to place in the top whatever to make it to the next round, and that he got in his head. As Tony Robbins says, in your head, you are dead. And we got to see it live on camera. He shanked a shot, beat himself up, then he gets in the weeds, and then he gets in water, and the guy, he blew it. He blew the tournament. However, the total reverse of that is Scottie Scheffler, also a top-ranked golfer. Scottie stays calm, cool, collected, and very present in the golf game. One more player, and then I'll try to get away from this golf, especially if you're not into golf. Matt Fitzpatrick, Fitzy as they call him, Fitz, The guy, again, kind of like Scotty, very calm, cool, collected. His self-talk, he's not beating himself up. He is so focused. He's taking score on, how far he hit a ball and what club he used. But the importance of all of this is the guy stays forward focused. And that's what it really comes down to in life. No matter what obstacle and challenge you're going through right now, if it's financial, if it's relational, if it's in your business, if you're in that negative headspace, you've got to be able to, number one, self-regulate. And when I talk about self-regulate, it means to stay present. It's to catch and replace. It's fine if you get frustrated or impatient or angry. You got to feel those feelings, but then you have to release them and let them go. Because when they fester, that's what I call it mind fuckery. That's when you stay in your head and then you create a mountain out of a molehill. So no matter where you're at in life, you've got to be able to, number one, have self-awareness, and number two, be able to regulate your emotions. Now, there's tons of ways to go about doing this to help you stay present. Some of them are things like breath work, or when you feel that stress and the tension, anxiety, worry, fear come up, be able to walk away from the situation if you can. If you're currently, in a combat with somebody, literally walk away. Maybe you need to take a breather. You can stop and pause. Maybe you're really frustrated in traffic. And this is a 60-second exercise I teach my coaching clients. Pause. I call it power of the pause. And you take an inhale for 5 seconds, you hold it for 5 seconds, and a full exhale through your mouth for 5 seconds. 4 rounds of that is 60 seconds. If you could take a 1-minute pause before responding, that is how you become very proactive in life. Rather than always knee-jerk reaction like these golfers do, like you do, when things don't go wrong, if you constantly react, that's not the frame of mind you want to come at life with. Step number 3, which I'm really trying to hammer in here, is the ability to stay present. When you can let go of what was, not worry about the future and what could be, but you stay right here, right now. In this idea of this game of golf, you got to let go of your last stroke and don't be worried about 2 strokes or, the next hole. Where are you at right here, right now? Use that power of the pause. If things aren't going well, the next step is the ability to mentally rehearse how you want something to go. Let's say you're preparing and getting ready to go into a job interview. How do you want that to go? How do you want to come out of it? Do you want to be offered the job? Maybe you're mentally rehearsing for a sales call. If you're playing a sport, we hear this time and time again. Pro athletes mentally rehearse the play, the putt, the race, and they imagine in their mind how it's going to go. Now, the importance of this is your mind does not know the difference between imagination and reality. So when you mentally rehearse how you want something to go, and then you take action, you stay in control. You're like back in the driver's seat of your car. That is a state of being mindful and intentional rather than the knee-jerk reaction. So I want you to think of this. This step number 4 is really important when it comes to the game of life. You've got to mentally rehearse in your mind the conversation, the sales call, whatever it is, wherever you're at in life, mentally rehearse it. And finally, the 5th step that I want you to think about is you've got to be able to embrace failure. Here's the thing about failure, and I've shared this before. I love the acronym for FAIL, first attempt in learning. And guess what? Failure is what holds chokehold on so many people. It keeps you stuck from even taking action in your life. And guess what? When you're going towards something new, let me just tell you, you're going to suck. When I started podcasting, I really sucked. I used to write out a script and read it, trying to pretend like I wasn't reading it. I didn't want it to sound like I was reading it. Remember when you had to start driving a car, you weren't very good, right? Like you were nervous and there were so many things you had to think about. And now you can get in a car and it's no big deal. Anytime you're doing something new, you have to learn to embrace the failure, embrace that things are going to happen. And guess what? I love the idea of you're going to win or you're going to learn. but don't let the fear of failure keep you from entering the game. So, guess what? When it comes down to the game of life, and like I got to watch it with these golfers, life is literally a mindset game. If you can self regulate, if you can stay present in the moment, if you can mentally rehearse and embrace failure, this idea of resilience and persistence, no matter what, I am telling you, you are going to succeed in any area of life. And mindset is what separates the best from the rest. So I want you to take the idea of this with you today and this week. Where can you start creating more presence? Where can you let go of the past and stop fretting about the future? Where can you start mentally rehearsing how you want things to go, your ideal outcomes in any area of life? And finally, how can you learn to embrace failure and go after what it is you want in this life? I would love to hear from you. What is the key takeaway you got from today's video? What are you going to implement today, right now? Thanks for watching today's video. Make sure you subscribe to my channel so you're the first to know when new videos drop. And give me a thumbs up and like it. I'll catch you on the next one.